Okay, let's see what's going on here. We're getting out to the river. First thing in the morning. I saw a big mayfly hatch at a gas station, so I'm gonna see what's up with this. I feel like this water's up a little bit more than it was. I'm gonna go up the river just a little ways and see if I can get on some of this mayfly hatch out in the river. We're getting out to the river. I'm not gonna go far up here. Looks like a good spot. We're just gonna do like we were doing last week. We're just gonna do a little running and gunning around here. Now it's still dark on my screen, but I'm gonna fish a swim jig, try a little top water action, and definitely use a crankbait today. Today is it's getting to that time of year where the crankbaits are what we need to do. Morning, Alan. Thank you for the well wishes. I'm just getting started, so I'm gonna try a little something. I had forgotten about this. It's a good little. Well, I've caught a few fish on it in dirty water, but it's a good dirty water top water. It's called a pompadour. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's one of those crazy crawler style baits. So I'm gonna give that a shot today. This is one of those Japanese models. But I've caught a few fish on it, but not, and a couple of good spots. And this is a good spot lake, so I'm gonna shut down a little. We got some current moving through here, it looks like. Not much, but I was gonna stay in the creek where I put it in and fish, and I said, nah, I want to go out here and try it, see if there's anything going on with these mayfly hatches. I think that's what was going on last week when I was catching some fish on some of those overhanging limbs. I think that was mayfly hatch, because I got up in the river. Well, where I was catching them, I didn't see anything, but then I came up a few miles and and then I started seeing something, and I lost a nice spot that was probably close to 3 pounds, and never did get any more big bites. But it was already around 11 o'clock when that happened. So we're going to give it a little shot today. I may need to go up a little bit farther. I think I don't have a lot of this. I can find out real quick if there's a mayfly hatch. So the water looks about as it can look in the river. Ooh. Yeah, I'm probably gonna do some of the, oh, yeah, I messed that up. Still can't see good yet, so my depth perception's all off, and I can't see little limbs down in the water. So I'm gonna make a few bad casts first thing this morning, get that out of my system. This is a good looking little lay down. I can look in this tree, see if I see any any mayflies, but I'm not seeing any in this one. There was a good hatch, probably a half mile up the river. If I don't see any down here, we'll move on up and maybe we can get into something. Maybe get a little same deal like last week where we get a couple of overhanging trees or something and there's some fish hanging in them. Maybe we can find 2 or 3 in one tree. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. But this is a big old noisy bait. So if nothing else, maybe we can just get something to come up and blow up on it first thing here. And we're supposed to be overcast today, so that's real good. Real good for the top water and what I'm planning to do. Maybe to keep some of the pleasure boat traffic down if it's threatening to rain too. Even though you don't get a lot here to begin with. There we go. Can't see all this little stuff, little bitty limbs and things hanging out there. I don't normally come straight out to, when I come down here and fish, I don't normally come straight out to the river and fish. I usually go and fish a creek for a little while and then come out here when it gets a little bit more daylight, so I have no idea what to expect this morning. Just gonna give it a shot. See how we do. Maybe some of these overhanging bushes and things like that will have some fish. I'm gonna give this top water a few minutes. And if we don't get any bites on it, I'm gonna try the swim jig. Actually, I'm gonna try spinnerbait a little bit first thing this morning. And I think today's gonna be a crankbait day. I think that's gonna be something doesn't feel right. I think this time of year, you know, you just seems like you get a lot of bites on small crankbait. So, and I've been seeing a lot of small bait fish laying around, so we're just gonna give it a try. That's a good looking overhang right there. Let me toss that spinnerbait in there for a second. Trying a little different color. I'm trying a black and yellow spinnerbait. That's super old school. Little single Colorado on there. I can see some current going around the outside of this thing, so maybe there's a fish in here trying to ambush. My granddad always talked about using snagless sallies, and they always use that black and yellow snagless sally, so I know this color of bait will work. Just not sure about on this frame spinnerbait. Ooh, we got hung up. You don't get it started right away, you're gonna get hung up. There we go. It looks like there's too many willow flies right. Oh, I'm seeing a few little brim pecking here and there. Maybe they're just not really going yet. I'm looking, always kind of look up. We got some little shallow brush down through here and some trees laying over, so maybe we'll run into a couple of decent fish somewhere along the way. Oop. Oh, I just had a bite right there. I think it might have been a gar. So we're just gonna play around with some stuff, see if we can find something they're interested in. See a little bit coming out just a little bit further there. Well, there's a little brim or something pecked. There he is. All right, a little baby to start it off right in that overhanging tree. But we got him. Little baby. Toss it back in there. Maybe there's another one. On a yellow and black spinnerbait. Who would have thought it? That's where he hit, right up underneath that limb. Didn't get another bite right there, but we'll keep fishing around, see if we get another one somewhere. It would be nice if they'd hit this spinnerbait. This is a good bait to fish. Oh, I did have another bite right there, but he didn't get it. Felt like a little brim or something. Maybe they're on the maybe I'll do one up on the top side a little bit. I'll make a little bit better cast up there and kind of let it drift down with the current. Maybe something will come out and smack it. We definitely have a hatch of some sort going on, because I'm seeing stuff coming up and popping the surface. So that's a good sign for me. I'm not seeing. Oh, there's a mayfly. All right, well, we got a little bit of something going on. So, ooh, there went a little brim coming out. All right. So we got one quick bite. Maybe we can get a few more somewhere. Maybe we can find some daddies in there. Big old mamas and daddies. Now we got low light. I'm gonna use this spinnerbait. And I'm still gonna try that top water in certain situations, but This is just a little bit faster for covering this water. Oop. Definitely lots of activity out here this morning. That's good. It's hard to see stuff out here first thing in the morning to make a good cast. But I'm seeing a little bit. That's a good looking spot right there. No bite. No bite. Got another little lean over tree. Let's see what we can do on it. See if we can get us that pattern established early. If that's a pattern to be had. It'd be like the other day where it was just specific types of trees. Or you may have just, sometimes you gotta just hit the top side of them, or sometimes you gotta just hit the bottom side of them. I'll start to get a little bit more light out here, so that'll help me out a little bit. And the plan is do this for a little while, and then I'm actually going to go back up in the creek and just shallow crank. I'm just going to, well, I'm just going to fish shallow, some shallow hot water. What's the water temperature? Water temperature is about 85 in here. It'll probably be closer to 90 in there. Dang, there's supposed to be one right there. Nothing. One on the overhanging tree. There we go. Maybe we'll get one on this little canopy layover that we got. That's the type of place where I want to throw my top water. No, Wendy, it's not vintage tackle day. Today is shallow power fishing with top waters and crankbaits, probably. Bob? Yeah, it is pretty calm today, Bob. I mean, it's first thing in the morning. We got some overcast, so it should be a good day. Ooh, heard a good one blow up behind me. I'm just going to try a mix of, I got 3 or 4 different baits I'm going to go through. If I get real desperate, I might flip a jig, but I don't think I'm going to get that desperate today. Plus, I don't necessarily think of that as a desperation bait either. Really, it's more of a just grind them out, try to catch big fish bait. That's a good looking lay down though. There's a lot of water from the end of that to up into the up against the bank, but it's got all kinds of vines and stuff over the top of it, so you can't really get in there. That'd be a good jig spot if a fella was inclined. All right, not a whole lot going on right through here. We're gonna speed it up a notch and thought there was a little bit more stretch of willow grass on this side, but I'm not seeing it yet. I know there's some up further. Oh, there's a little something bit it. Might need to make a few shots like that with a swim jig and just see if they just don't want a spinnerbait. All right. I fish pretty close quarters when the water's muddy like this. Well, it's not muddy, it's just off color here, but I fish pretty close quarters when I have off color water like this. So see me make a lot of little just short, only, you know, maybe 15, 20 foot long casts. It's a good way to just make a lot of presentations. Make a lot of presentations in a short amount of time. And you can be pretty accurate. Making little pitches with a spinnerbait or a swim jig or whatever it is you're fishing, you can be a lot more accurate with it too. Making little short jumps here and there. I'm gonna turn this down just a touch. Supposed to come out and whack that thing right there, man. Try to swim jig for a few casts down through here and see if we get a little bit healthier response on it. I just gotta keep experimenting until you figure out what they're after. We got a good looking laydown coming up, big old looking tree. Maybe it's got some good stuff around it and some fish. I'm gonna start with that with a top water, and then I'm gonna kind of work down the water column. Ooh, not where we wanted to go. Just working a little pompadour. Of course, I hit the only leaf out there. That's my luck. Cast up just a little bit above it and let that current kind of wash it down. Work it down with that current. Get a little bit different position. I might be able to make that work on the... My casting is awful today. There we go. That's the cast you want. Work it all the way down it in this darker water. When you have clearer water, you like to work across stuff. When you have dingier water, it's better to kind of work it down with the current, or with the cover rather, so that you don't have any, your bait's pretty much in the strike zone the whole time. Do the same thing with a spinner bait. See if we can let that thing get washed down in there a little bit. Well, I might want to come up and grab that thing. It looks fishy. A lot of it looks fishy, but not all of it has fish. Not right now, anyway. Sometimes you get all the way out to the boat and then hit all the way out here when you do something like that. So now that I've kind of worked the end of this, I'm going to kind of work up closer to the bank, see if there's anything maybe a little closer that can get interest. Oh, there he is. Yep. Little guy. Oh, we got a bite. Feisty little spotted bass. All right, come on now. Oop, he spit up a little chunk of something. Hey man, come on. Quit shaking, I'll grab a hold of you. All right. There we go. We got him lip locked now. All right, a little spotty. Ooh, I just poked myself with that trailer. That didn't feel good. All right, well, we got one off of that tree. Oh, that was another little bite, but that was brim. Thanks, Bob. I try to give some insight while I'm out here, you know. Doesn't always work out, but it's nice when it does. Ooh, I had another one come up there and grab it just then. Right up on the shallow end where this thing's actually, it doesn't go all the way to the bank, so it's kind of unusual, but there's a little, it's not a root ball, it's just where it broke off. He hit it right where it broke off. We'll buzz it through here one more time. Ooh. Well, we're two hookups on the spinnerbait. No other bites yet. Well, we've had other bites, just I think they're just all brim. But there is some. They are hanging around these trees, so I feel like there's going to be some kind of hatch at some point. I'm just not seeing it yet. Oh, there went another little bite. There went another one. There's definitely some shallow activity. There ought to be some bass following these brim around. Or maybe even sucking down a mayfly every now and then if they see one. Got another one of these little overhanging trees. There it goes. I don't think that was a fish. I think I just hit a limb. Love. Banging the side of the boat doesn't do any good in this river. I'm gonna turn my nav light stuff off. I don't think I need that anymore. Put that away, and then just got a little. There we go. Save a little juice. I don't know how long I'll be out here today. All right. Well, come on. That wasn't what we were trying to do. Oh. Trying to be cool didn't work. Here we go. Oop. Nothing. Nothing on these little lay down overhanging trees right through here. I thought that might be the jam this morning. Not happening. You go in a little closer to the bank. Maybe that's where the problem is. Oh, that was a tree. Who knows? Well, seeing a couple of mayflies flying around, but it's not a massive hatch that I can tell. We'll kind of burn through here. I'm not seeing a whole lot through here that's giving me a whole lot of excitement. Oh. And all I can seem to do is cast up in the trees. I just got these like make half-hearted cast here and there, see if hit the high points. Nothing, and just keep going. I'm seeing the bluegill come up and hit, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of bass activity. Sometimes they're a little bit more stealthy than the brim, though. The brim will be coming up, hitting the top, and then they'll got a little bit more wood down through here. We'll slow it down just a touch. A little bit of wood right up against the bank. I don't give it a shot, but we got a little brush pile coming up. We'll make a few casts on the back. Actually, I'm gonna go straight for the heart of this one, right there. Oop. And then my bait got all fouled up. That's awesome. There we go. We'll get one on that upstream side. Nothing. This river's always been pretty stingy. You really got to work for them. Only time it's really good is if you've gone a few weeks with no rain and then you hit the front end of a really big front. Then sometimes you can really load up, but any other time you got to work hard. And sometimes all you get is like those couple that we've already caught, just a bunch of little 12-inch dinky doos. But when it's tough like this, and that's what I get, I'm happy to get them, because I know it's a tough river and it's stingy. I've seen 7 pounds win 5 fish tournaments, like evening tournaments on this lake. I think I might have even done it myself once or twice. This is the type of laydown coming up where I was seeing some action last week. I don't know what this is. I don't know if that's a... Oh, I had a little bite there. A little brim. It's the type of shot where they're supposed to come out and slam it. I'm gonna keep this up, but I'm gonna alternate between this and the swim jig and see if it makes any difference. I put this behind it in the same exact spots. Fish are weird, man. Fish are weird. This is a lot of lay down and places for those fish to hide too. Oh, something shaking the whole limb over there. I don't know what that was. That was odd. There's one of those kingfisher birds in it, in the tree. I'm just kind of trying to cast on the upstream side and kind of let it sweep underneath that stuff when I can. Not always practical. There goes some brim popping. Let's see if we can put our bait in there and get a bass to come up and get it. Ooh. Well, trying to make it work, and the fish are giving me the middle finger. That's okay. We got some willow grass coming up. We'll see if we got anything hanging around that stuff. Oop, I went over the limb I was trying to go under. That didn't work. All right, we got another little lay down log here. Maybe we're gonna try our same little game plan. Just kind of fish it down the length of the log. Make a couple of kind of an interesting little shot here where you can kind of come out through the fork and didn't get a bite, but I felt good about the shot. Hopefully I can get a fish on the spinnerbait and some of this willow grass, and I can keep using the spinnerbait. But what's been happening is I've been having to use a swim jig, and even then it's not fast fishing by no stretch of the imagination. It's a lot of casts. This is one of the better looking patches I've seen. It's got some good depth to it. I like that shot right there. Got a little, kind of put my bait right in that pocket. There's a little place for him to hide. Nothing. I can get these points like this too. I like to fish right off the front of the point of these little grass patches, and sometimes I want to shoot out there and grab it. Not today, but sometimes. No, there it goes. This ain't where you think there might be a fish hiding. You just kind of pitch it around there, and sometimes they surprise you by how shallow they are. Sometimes they always surprise me at how quick they are. It's just a flash out of nowhere, it seems like. All right, let's try this swim jig down in front of this next one. I seem to have better luck with a swim jig in the grass. I don't know why that is, especially if this water's dirty. You'd think that blade on that spinnerbait would help you get more hits, but I don't see that it makes a whole lot of difference. We got a couple of this little lay down. This is a good looking lay down tree where there ought to be a fish hanging underneath. No evidence to support that, but gave it a shot. I'm gonna do the same thing I did on that earlier lay down on this one. I'm gonna try it first with the top water, and then I'm gonna try something a little different on it. like to get a bite on that top water out here in this river. Give me a little confidence in it. Nothing. We'll cast off the end. This bait just might be a little bit large for what I need to be using in this river. But again, I'm gonna run this thing I'm just gonna run it right down parallel with this limb. Trying to keep it right over the top of it if I can. That's the type of place there's supposed to be a fish. All right. Give that a fair shake. Back to the spinner bait. Same deal, just run it right down the edge, kind of. If you can bump it a little bit. So I think I just bumped it a little. That was a good presentation. No bites. Just kind of slow rolling it down next to it, letting it drift, letting that current kind of drift it down through there. And sometimes you get one, sometimes you don't. Try up there on the root ball. Maybe they're up a little shallower. Kapow, nothing. All right. Keep it moving. Name of the game's cover water on this lake. At least that's what it's always been for me. Some guys can probably find some schoolers or something. Those guys that do all the forward facing stuff, they can probably find it, but for me, I stick shallow. There we go, run that thing right on the upstream side. Supposed to crush it right there, if they're in here. Let's go back to our swim jig on this grass. Just comes through doesn't get caught up as much if you go a little bit longer on your cast. It doesn't go, blade and stuff will get caught up, and then it just kind of messes your cast up. All right. Usually when you have a little bit of wood in there mixed in, that's usually where you get some bites. Not today, I guess. we're gonna kick it up a little bit. Starting to see a few more laydowns though, so that's good. Maybe we can pick a few fish off of those guys. At least get some bites. Got some little shoreline brush here. And then I'll lay down. I'm gonna run this thing right down the front of that lake. I'm gonna cast on the back side of it too. Well, I guess I'm not. I was gonna cast down the back side, but I made a bad cast. I like to try to let that current kind of wash it up underneath there if I can. Nothing. We got a little bit more of a sparse grass patch here. It comes out a little deeper. I don't know if that's a little point coming off the bank there with some a little bit more sand or what's going on there, but make a few presentations, see if anything's interested. And I try to fish lanes in the grass whenever I can. If I see like somewhere where I can make a good unobstructed cast and work my bait through without my line getting caught on any of that stuff, I always try to make that cast, because I don't know, I just always feel when your line's pulling something over, that doesn't look very, pulling over the grass or something, that just doesn't look very natural. But if you can just get that thing working right through there, make one cast with this and on this lay down, and then I'm gonna try that top water again if I don't get a bite. That just looks like a good spot. Might need to bust out the old popper and give it a few give it a try, but well, that was awful, just awful. There we go. Golly, oh! I got distracted. Something was out there busting in the middle, and I was not ready for that fish to come up and hit my top water. That's good. We got a bite on it. Makes me feel a little better. And I hooked it. I just didn't get it. Just didn't hook him good enough. That's cool. All right, Alan, I appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time. Don't work too hard out there. Kaboom! No kaboom. All right. Well, we got something else to think about this morning. Now we got that Got a little top water bite. We've got a few bites on the spinner bait. Dip that in there and see if good. I don't know how big that fish was, but still fun bite. Always enjoy getting a topwater bite. Ooh, got another little piece of wood next to some overhang. I made about as good of a cast as I could make right there. Nothing. Man. Hurts my feelings when I make a really good cast like that and don't get a bite. But it does happen. Got a couple little stick ups here. You gotta maneuver around. Aha! We got our brim. We got our brim. Told you they've been hitting. I got him in a bad spot. Sorry, buddy. Got our brim. Got a brim on a spinnerbait. You don't do that every day. Happens sometimes. All right. Two bass and a brim so far. Living large. I got some more wood coming up. I'm gonna try that top water again, and then we'll put the spinnerbait or the swim jig on and back it up. That wasn't the right cast, but we're going to work it out anyway. It's going to kind of go through this top. This is not a super fast moving bait, but it's got some good crazy action on it. I don't know what they think it is, but when they hit it, they attack it violently. Well, no bites. No bites on that either. Just dump a spinnerbait through there. No bites on it. We'll carry on. Carrying on. Thanks. Thread the needle with that guy. Ooh, I made a good cast. And again, no bass. Good cast, no bass. Oh, it did not come off the tip right. There we go. Had more bites down through here the other day when the sun was out. Well, how did that happen? All right, try that again. There we go. That's if I made a good cast the first time. Every time. Little brim. Nothing. No mayflies in the trees. I think that's our X factor and why we're not getting any bites, because they're just not seeing any of that activity. What's up, SWC? Down in Okeechobee, huh? Y'all catch the big boys down there. You won't see too many of those on this channel today. This lake doesn't produce very many fish over 5 pounds. They're not what I would call ultra common. But we're just having fun. Fishing a little shoreline grass, fishing some lay down logs, and later on I'm gonna go up in the creek and just do some power fishing on whatever cover's available. Probably fish some riprap. I'm definitely gonna fish some riprap and some more willow grass. Some of that riprap has some logs on it, some wood. Maybe we'll get a couple of quality fish in there. But just trying to have some fun. That's what it's all about, right? I live in Chattanooga, but I like to come down here because, as you can see, I've been fishing all morning and there hasn't been a single boat go by. A lot of these folks down here, I mean, you'll start seeing some pleasure boaters around 11 o'clock, noonish probably, and then I'm actually surprised I haven't seen any bass boats go by this morning. They're probably up fishing up in the creeks first thing in the morning, trying to get some shallow action going on in there. And I'm trying the same thing, just on the river. So far we caught 2 bass in a brim, all on a spinnerbait, and we have a couple other bites on we had a bite on topwater and a few more bites on spinnerbait. It's been I was saying earlier, this lake's pretty stingy most of the time, unless you really, if you fish here all the time and you stay on them, you can have all these different log jams identified where the fish are, you know, just like anything. Some are better than others. All the ones I knew when I lived down here are pretty much gone now, and then there's all new ones. So a lot of times you just got to put the trolling motor down and just go fishing. Or you can just fish whatever you see. Go up, crank up, and go fish a few log jams, and then crank up again, go fish a few more, and try to break it out that way. But I tend to just like to put the trolling motor down and go fishing and see what happens. Got some more wood kind of right here. It's a nice muggy morning, but we got some overcast skies, so that if there's a topwater bite to be had, that ought to help. Might have to do some popping. I don't normally do a whole lot of popping in dirty water, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I think I might put this down and try a little crankbait around this wood from now on, because I've been seeing a lot of small bait, you know, 1.5 to 2 inch bait. So I got a little 1.5 to 2 inch balsa crankbait here. Just fish this thing around and see if anything's, check the drag, see See if anything's interested. Getting hung up, that's interesting. Just keep this on the ready. Appreciate everybody stopping by today, taking a look. If you got any questions or anything about anything, just let me know. I'll do my best to keep on talking. Some of this grass just looks yummy. Looks like there should be bass all in it, just ready to pounce. And we got some pretty decent current going on the outside of it, so there ought to be something going on there. There hasn't been too much action in it. I fished it the last couple of weeks with limited success, but I'm not giving up on it. I'm about to give up on it, but I'm not giving up on it yet. If we find a little stretch of bank with a mayfly hatch, we might get on some fish. Kind of run that thing down, eat both sides of that lay down there, see if something jumps out on it. Usually the upstream side is, well, if you make a good cast, the upstream side should be better. Hard to have a better side when you're not getting any bites at all. See a big piece of wood in front of a grass patch like that. That'll be something feasting right there. No love. Just keep it moving. I think in this dark water like this, these fish will be up shallow. But not seeing any evidence of it so far. So a little twitch up in there. Well, I definitely spooked something out of there. Looks like it's a carp. That was about as good a cast as I could have made in there, and nothing. All right. Good lane through the grass right there. No bites. Another good little lane. Well, it's not from a lack of trying. And it's not from a lack of making good casts. Just very simply that I'm not doing the right thing, I guess. Not in the right area or something. I just think this water is still a little bit high for doing all this. I like it when it's a little bit, when it starts to fall a little bit, kind of moves. Well, you can see a lot more of the wood, and then it also just seems like the fish are hanging on the wood a little bit more, or at least they're hanging a little higher in the water column. Maybe that's maybe I need to be using a heavier swim jig, or something that gets down. I'm just kind of fishing it a couple inches off the. I'm just kind of fishing it up high, trying to pick off some active fish, but it may be the wrong thing to do. Back to the crank. This time of year seems like you get a lot more bites on these smaller baits, so I don't know if it's just the way it's always been for me. I don't try to get too crazy with big. Well, depending on the lake, on Chickamauga, I've done pretty good on some some bigger soft plastics and grass this time of year. But this lake, the average fish is quite a bit smaller, I believe, so heavy population of, that wasn't a fish. Heavy population of spotted bass. Oh my God, there we go. Try and burn that thing, see if I can get a reaction, but did not. It's got a little lay down log right here. Kind of fishing what I can see and what's in front of me. I don't even have my fish finder up here turned on. I'm just working the bank. Old school slow fishing and getting old school slow fishing results. Nice looking lay down right there. It goes a long way. See something coming. No bite. No bite on that whole thing. Oh, gotta go get that one. Hold on. Come back here. Oh, I can see it. Why isn't it coming loose? Why isn't it coming loose? There we go. I don't know why that didn't just come loose on its own, but it didn't. Maybe this little top water will get a bigger bite. Sure can't get much of a smaller one. Oh, me. Screwed that one up. There'll be one. Maybe one come right through there and just blast that thing. Oh, there we go. Now we can see some stuff. Slowness. Slow morning. Has been hot as all get out. I'm already sweating myself to death. Little small straggler pieces of wood through here. Let's see if maybe there might be we'll get something to react to this little guy. Where that laydown is in front of me, there used to be a really good log pile, and there's still some stuff on the bottom. That's why there's some new fresh wood there, but it's not anywhere near as big as it used to be. It used to come out there probably 40 or 50 feet. This is just a little shallow water coming into this, like a little backwater coming in here. I never have caught any fish right through here otherwise, other than on that where that log jam is, but just kind of a little shallow area. Got some wood scattered through here, I think. I'm gonna try a little stuff around this wood, and then we'll fish a little bit more. Ooh, that was just the worst possible cast ever. Make a few casts around this wood, fish a couple more of these little grass patches up here, and then I'm gonna crank up, move up, and I'm gonna fish some grass that are kind of in the mouth of one of these creek mouths up here, and see if there's anything hanging around first thing. And then we're gonna play it by ear after that and just try to figure something out that works. Well, feels like it's going to break off, but I don't think it is. It'd be good and quiet. I might be able to get a bite on the. Come on. Why is that thing not wanting to come off? Okay, there we go. Might be able to get a bite right in there. Or pick up my little spinner bait and switch into some of this, pitch into some of this heavier stuff and maybe get a little bite. Oh my goodness, come on. Oh, can't win. Can't win today. How you hang up a spinner bait? There it goes. Oh man, staying hung up. Yeah, I need to go to a different blade configuration or something. All right, we're gonna go down to this next little grass patch, and then we're cranking up. Little fork branch right there. Ooh, this is pitiful. This is just absolutely pitiful. Whew. All right, time to make a move. Let's do it. We'll go up here in the mouth of a little creek that's got some grass in it and mess around in there for a little bit. And it's got a big grass patch, and last time I was in there I saw a lot of activity. And then we'll kind of go from there. I'm not seeing what I saw last week as far as what I was hoping with mayflies. So I may have to give up on this a little sooner than I hoped. And my next plan was to go in the creek that I put the boat in on and just fish shallow. There's that's a mayfly right there. And just fish shallow water all day. It's a pretty shallow creek. It's got some dark water. Did pretty good at the end of the day last week in there. Caught 3 or 4 off some riprap pretty quick. But we're gonna go up here and check it, take a look, and then All right. Well, this is not where I wanted to go. The two other places that I had. Oh, I lost everybody. Wow. The two other places that I had staked out were occupied. So this is just a little backwater right off the river. River keeps going that way, and then there's another little backwater that comes out right here. So we've got some grass around this corner. Looks like we've got some shad flicking around everywhere, so that's promising. So get around this dock, and then we'll get up in there and start doing a little work. And then one of those guys looked like they were kind of drifting away from they were in the main spot that I wanted to go, and they just looked like they were fishing down the river, but I didn't want to get right on them. I don't pull up on people most of the time if I can help it. So see if we can get something on this little seawall, and then we'll work on up around this grass. And well, they got this point in front of us, and then there's two other little points that have some grass on them in there. And we got some shad flicking. There's definitely bait in here, so hopefully we can find a few bass to go with them. I'm trying on the inside and the outside. If I just can't believe there's not any fish in here. There may not be biting, but I just can't believe there's not any in here. This is just a great looking grass patch. It's got some good depth to it. Yeah, got kind of a little secondary little patch back behind there. It is July though. That's kind of it gets slow here. Water's hot. Is it 84 degrees? I'm out here chunking a spinnerbait. That's not what you expect to be seeing somebody doing in July, I don't think. Almost August. It will work, but it's not your stereotypical July, August activity. And I'm using a little bit of a strange color. Using this yellow and black. Got me. Nothing. Get this little isolated patch in here, then we'll run across to the other side. Whew. This has been nice and it's not sweltering hot yet. We got still got some good cloud cover this morning, and I'm appreciative of that. Well, I didn't approach that one with the best angle, but golly. Well, he got my tail. He got it, but all he got was the tail. Well, we had a bite. Actually, I think I've got some in this bag. That's funny. Hit it right at the boat. I wasn't expecting that. Well, thought I had some in here, do I not? I guess I don't. So we got what I need right in here. This happens to be right on top too. I'm just using a little Z-Crawl Junior trailer. Just threading it on there as straight as I can. It's a little bit tricky with this. One thing I don't like about these is they got that little hook deal for people to Texas rig them. And it makes them a little bit flimsy. Makes the plastic a little flimsy on the... Let's see how that looks in the water. Oh yeah, that swims good. I might swim a little bit better than the last one. Swim jigs are funny. It's a weird bite, and I tend to try not to set the hook till they really got it. They do have that weed guard you got to work through. It's kind of a weird thing to just, when you feel a bite, just kind of keep reeling until it tightens up good and really hammer them. You don't have to do that with many other many other baits that you just reel in. Most of them don't have weed guards and stuff like that, so. But hey, got a bite on it. That's nice. Work on around, and there's another little patch up there, and then we're gonna head back down and see if those guys are out of that other mouth. And if they're not, we're gonna go back up in the creek. And if they are, we're gonna go in that mouth and work our way up in there a little ways. There's 3 creek mouths down there that I consider I would have done some check downs, meaning I'm, check them out, and there were boats in all 3 of them. That's just how it goes. Sometimes you always got to have a backup. Oop. Fish down this little bitty patch of grass with some wood in front of it, and then we'll cross over. Oh, I had a bite there. See if I can throw it back in there and get him. Didn't feel like there was much size to it, but it was a bite. I haven't spent a whole lot of time fishing those darker ones, but lots of these swim jig guys seem to like these darker swim jigs too, but I haven't really spent a whole lot of time with them. This watercolor might be a good place for it, but I just see so much shad around. I'm just sticking with a pearl style because I just feel like these fish are going to be keying on these shad. And I have had some pretty good success with it in the past too. But so far today it's been tough. All right, cross it over. We don't have far to go, so I'm gonna go real fast. try to twitch this thing. See guys on some of those pros doing that stuff, just twitching it, but I never have had any luck doing it. I do better just straight cranking it. Of course, I'm not doing worth a flip today either way, but all right, got just a little bit more to go through here, and then we're gonna head out. Bars. And honestly, this bar is not quite as clean as I like for this. Technique either. I like it just a little bit clearer. There's a little lay down piece of brush right here I'm working through. I did catch one on it last week, so it's makes sense I don't get one on it this week. There's fish in here busting shad. Get my little crankbait out in the middle and throw on them, see if they want to participate. Oh yeah, they're all over that point. I don't know if you can hear them busting. Oh yeah. Bunch of little guys. A bunch of little guys. Let me try to make a cast there, see if. Ooh. I didn't break my bait hitting that trolling motor. There. Oh, I had a bite. I had one hit it. Oh, there's another one hit it. Oh, there's another one hit it. They're hitting it. They're just not getting it. I didn't bring my little riser bait. Well, I did, but I don't have a good. I don't think I've got a good rod to. There he is, little guy. What did we get? What are they, little white bass? Yeah, a little. There we go. They're feeding up. Just chomping through some bait out there. There's another one. That one might be a bass. Yeah, that's a little largemouth. Isn't it? A little baby. Get a little quick schoolie action. You know, get the numbers up. Not big by any stretch of the imagination, but you know, it's a bite. And they're hitting it, so hey, I'll take a little bit of action on this otherwise lackluster morning, even if it's not exactly what we're looking for. There we go. Another white bass. Hey. All right. You got both those treble hooks hooked almost in the exact same spot. That's kind of odd. Ooh, and he's coughing up a shad. About the same size as my bait. Surprise. Probably rounding them up on this point. That current comes off this river and pushes this way. I suspect that's what's going on here anyway. There we go. What we got? Another white bass. Sit here and work on these for a little while and just have a few minutes of fun, and then we'll move on and try to get back to the serious game that we're playing here. Try to catch some decent sized bass. You know, got him right at the boat. Another little white bass. All right, they're getting smaller. He's pretty green. On this point, there's some hitting off that point. There's some good rock out there. Maybe there'll be a bass hanging out there. Sneak up and grab some of those shad with those white bass. There he is. That's a bass right there. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Hey. Two. Oh, the other one got off. I had a white bass there too. But I got your fish. That was important. When that happens, you want to. It's not a big stretch, but when you pull up like that, you want to make sure you get the bigger one. One of them off. He thumped it right off that little rocky point. There's another one. Oop, he missed it. There. Oh man, that thing thumped it. Yeah, that's a white bass. We just found this little group of schoolies. Just come on now. Sit still, I'll get him unhooked. A little white bass. Throw it out off that point. I'm just letting the boat drift right into it. Yeah, doesn't matter. Being quiet, that's the important. Ooh, that felt like a decent fish. There's another one. They're just not there. They're on it. They're definitely on the point. That's where they first started hitting, right next to the boat. There we go. What we got? Feels like another white bass. No, that's a decent white bass right there. Decent. Come on, man. They don't normally give me this much problem. Usually once you get a hold of them, they stop. Well, I got a pair of pliers right here. And then we'll come out of his little gill plate there. Yeah. Good. Plier. Ooh, drew some blood, that one did. Or whichever one poked me. Get 2 or 3 hits on that cast. There he is. Came off. You know, when it's slow like this, I try to take advantage whenever I take advantage. Take there on, came off. And that one that poked me in the finger hurt. Got me good. That's a white bass. The way he hit, I thought he was a bass. They kind of hit and turn, and then they always feel bigger than they are. All right, I got you. I'm gonna make one more cast, and if I don't get anything, I'm just gonna ease back down this grass bank, and then we'll come back down here again and see if we can catch a bass off of this. These white bass are too easy. Oop, there we go. All right. Put that down for a second. I'm gonna leave it up here, but put my little swim jig back up and see if we can get something with a little bit more girth to it in this grass, and then if not, we'll come back around and we'll catch a few more of those, and then we'll head on. That was a nice little side mission there. Side quest, if you will. But there's bait. I mean, there's bait everywhere out in here. There may be some fish out on there's a ledge out there. It's got a couple of stumps on it. Fish out. Who knows? Hook in the finger didn't feel too good, I'll tell you that. Now I know how they feel, I guess. Let those white bass get resituated and start blasting through some shad again. Maybe some bass will show up with them. Well, we've got 3 species. Actually, we've got 4 species because we've got largemouth spot, white bass, and bluegill. And then I don't know how many white bass we just caught there, but I've caught 4 bass so far this morning. So it's not great, but yeah, I'm having fun. Hope everybody's enjoying watching. How I just kind of proceed through my day of fishing. If you can get a bite in this grass, it's usually a halfway decent one. Ooh. A little piece of wood right there. Got a little lane. Ooh, not a good cast, but oh, what happened there? Not a good cast at all. That would be better served. This is a medium action rod. This is a light lure. It's only a 1/4 ounce. So that's why I'm using a medium action, but I would probably be better served if I'm gonna pitch this around using using a medium heavy. I had one that I used to use, but I broke it. Stepped on the stupid thing. Get a little lay down and then give me a little crankbait on that lay down. I get it. That was a good cast. I do like these balsa crankbaits fishing through wood. They come through it pretty good most of the time. Especially the big ones like the 3-inch ones. This is just a little bitty small one that I use this time of year when the fishing gets a little tougher and they tend to key a little bit more on some smaller bait. But those 3-inch ones, man, they're like tanks coming through the water. Can't hardly hang them up most of the time. I got a couple more little pieces of wood and then we'll turn around. Little flurry of activity. We'll turn back around, we'll get another little flurry, and then we'll head on our way. I guess it's better than just watching me cast. Get a little bit of wood right here. And if I can make this is kind of some sparse grass, so I'll fish my crankbait right through the grass. I don't care. If I can. I don't see why they would. If they like it in other places, I don't know why they wouldn't like it in running through the grass if you can make it work. I got hung up on that one. That one just hit and kind of stopped, so. Now I'll pick up the spinnerbait and go back down through there, and we'll get back to where our fish were schooled. There it goes. When I get back to where our fish were schooled up, pick our crankbait back up and try again. So this is just a little balsa crankbait. Using this water's dirty, so low and cover a lot of times. So I'm not too much worried about my line size. I'm using 20-pound line. It's just a medium fiberglass rod and a 6.2 to 1 reel. I like 6.2 to 1. I don't use much faster than that very often. I can see a trail where my boat's been going through, and it's not that shallow, so that's just it's hanging in the water. It's coming out of that backwater. Kind of fish from what I can see in there is just 4 little stick ups. And over there, that right there, that looks like a good spot with got a little something laying down with some greenery on it, and then you got a lay down log right there. It just looks fishy, but it's not getting the bite. No bite for poor Adam. We got another lay down on this other side. We'll make a cast around it. Nothing. Never have done much good around little isolated pieces of grass like that, but doesn't stop me from trying. Throw that one right in the heart of it, and this wood in here you would think would have a bass or two on it, but not happening. All right. I never have done good on the single spin. I think I've been trying to make it work on this leg, but this hasn't worked out for me on this leg very much. I've always done best on either or a double leaf. And in this watercolor, I kind of like a double willow leaf with chartreuse blades on it. Especially when you have a little overcast like this. Threw back in there because I saw some weeds move. Oh, there they go. They're busting again out there. They're busting. Kapow. Something just back there around that wood I was fishing a little while ago. I guess they're in here. They just don't like what I'm using. All right, they're popping off over here on some shad. So let's catch another couple of fish. Oh yeah, see them going? There he is. My best kind of keep of them. Shad. Just a bunch of little 1.5 to 2-inch shad out here, and they're just pressing them up against this point, it looks like. Speaking of the point, I'm gonna throw across it and bang this crankbait off of it a couple times, see if something hits it. There's some good rock on it. That's where I caught that double a few minutes ago. This time I kind of let the boat drift on top of where they were blowing up. But there he is. The little whitey, little white bass. Stop flopping, I'll get him. All right. He's in his trouble. They're just out there. Just out there chasing these shad down. Like I say, I kind of drifted across where they were actually at, so I might have messed them up. But there were some out on that point a little while ago. That one hit it all the way at the boat. Using a little small crankbait. Trying to get it down there. I need to probably fish one with a little bit more lip on that point. That way it bangs off of that rock a little bit. The little guy chasing too, I guess. Oh, that might be. Oh, that felt like a good fish. That was a white bass. That first one just kind of loaded up. He didn't hit it like a white bass. It was just kind of, he was on there. There's one. What we got? What we got? Little baby bass. He isn't doing anything. He's just coming right in. He flopped about 2 times when he first got hooked, and that was it. And then when I get my finger in his mouth, he's gonna go crazy. I bet. No, he's doing okay. All right, little guy. He was right up on top of that point. I see some grass moving up there. Dang. I think there's some bass actually on the point, but I'm just not getting hooks in them for some reason. They may all be the same size as that last one. If that's the case, that's why I'm not getting them hooked. Couple of bites. What we got? Another little baby bass. Okay. Found where the bass are hanging. There he is. He a little quick release on himself there. Not the size we're looking for, but just something to kind of fill the time Get a couple of. That may be a white. No, just felt bigger than he is. He's a little bit bigger than that last one. He got a little mark on him. Something got him at some point. See that big red mark on the side of him? Something poked him. Probably a herring got a hold of him. Man, I see fish. Oh, there they are. They go. I see fish running through that grass over there where I was just fishing too. That makes me mad. Because those are probably the ones I want to catch. Let me check the line here. Keep casting on that point where we're getting our bass bites. Maybe we'll hook up a little better one. Kind of ooh, something's tearing through them now. I saw a bunch of them scatter. I'm gonna try take a couple more casts with this, and then we'll try a little bit deeper diver, just see if I can bang off that rock a little bit better and maybe get a more decent fish to react. Gradually working it out. There they go. They're behind me now. They got them round. Oh, those white bass got them rounded up where they were at before. Oh, that fish punked it. Try one of these. A little bit deeper diver here. Did I not get it out? Oh yeah, I did. There it is. Use a little. This one's not balsa. This is a little Megabass Z2. I've had some pretty good luck on that in this lake. It'll dive down just a little bit more than that balsa crankbait will. There he is. Oh, man, that fish crushed that thing. There was one. Still out there, but they're getting a little bit wise now, I think. And when they're hitting it, they're just not getting hooked up. So I have to assume those are the white bass. Isn't it just not hooking up? This isn't the best color for this dirty water either. This is kind of a clear water color. But they can find it. Well, it's kind of shut down on us, didn't it? Maybe they don't want that bait at all. Maybe they want that balsa. Aha! We got something. staying down on us. Little baby whitey. Ta-ya. Like I said, the hardest part is just finding them. Once you find them, they're pretty easy to catch normally. Of course, that's rapidly changing. Got some twist. That front hook has some dull. It's dull too from banging in the rocks all the time. That's how I normally fish this. Need to change that out when I get a chance, or try to sharpen it one. All right. Oh, there goes some little white bass. They're pegging them. Just finding a little solo, just isolating them from the school and slashing through it. Put that killer bee back on, see if that makes any difference, because I don't feel like I've been getting near the bites that I was before. And that may be a function of, you know, sometimes if they're not feeding down, feeding up or down, that can make a difference. This bait doesn't go quite as deep, so maybe that's the deal. Maybe I'm just messing them up with where my boat's positioned. It's looking more like boat position. I'm gonna throw it out there in the middle where those white bass were at and see if anything's cruising around. Kind of work our way out. Oh, there's a little bite. Kind of work our way around and go out to the river for a minute, and then next hole, I guess. Don't seem to be much going on off the end of this point, but I may not be lined up right either. I don't know exactly which direction it comes off of that bank. But we sore lipped a bunch of them. Oh, there was a bite right there. We sore lipped a bunch of them. That was the cast that's been working. Gotta stay in position to set the hook. Now I got that. There we go. Something not right. Now we got a little weed there. Oh, they're busting out there. All right, that's here, and then we're moving on. Get a little flurry of activity, but it's pretty well died out, and I know they're not big enough for me to sit here and wait for them to group back up. All right, now I do need my fish finder on for this. All right. Oop, I got out here a little far. Make a few casts down this drop. There we go. Yeah, I'm not gonna fish this whole thing. Let's make a move. Caught a few fish, that's good. Makes me feel good. We found something anyway. Oh. All right. Something out in a second. All right, moving on. All right, let me put the phone. hit something. There's somebody back in that spot that I wanted to fish, so I'm just gonna go on up here in this creek. It opens up pretty big in the back here. Just gonna do some power fishing, do a little crankbaits. You know, whatever I can find to fish back here that looks good, I'm gonna fish it. I'll start off on some riprap. I got into a little small school of small ones earlier, but
Eight or 9 pounds.
really?
Just between that little stretch. Okay, I've gone back 3 or 4 times now.
Oh, there you go.
So, and I caught one early this morning over there on one of those grass mats, and then right here, and that was it. Water's back flowing though, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I ain't never fished here before, so.
It does some weird stuff through here, because I mean there's current out in the river, but I don't. Where did you see it backflowing?
Right here, water's pushing back this
You're seeing it right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
that's strange.
I don't know. I fish legally more than here, so.
Gotcha.
I'm just fishing here today because we got a tournament here.
Well, good luck to you.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right, well, that was a long place I wanted to go there, boat, so I just kept on going. We're gonna work along this riprap. Do a little light cranking. The water actually looks a little bit better in here to me than it does out in the river. So hopefully it is better out here in here than in the river. Maybe we'll just come in here and just wear them out. I think we're gonna get more bites anyway. Well, notwithstanding the school of fish, we'll get more bites just on average than we did. Than we did out there. We'll start off with my crankbait, and then I might fish topwater along this bank a little bit too, because I want to see if I can get anything to come up and bust that thing along this riprap. Right now they seem to be hitting that crankbait pretty good, so we're gonna stick with that. They're keyed in on that small bait fish. Let me see how this water looks. Ooh, looks like citrus tea is what it looks like dark citrus. Excuse me, dark citrus tea. Caught a couple when that storm was coming in last week when I was here. I caught a couple on this bank, but I didn't fish the whole thing, and I should have stuck around, but I didn't. Ooh, I like the color of this water. We'll put my adventure hat on. Keeps that sun off my neck. It's a little bit lighter than that buff. Oh yeah, now we're adventuring. We're just gonna go down and kind of make some 45s. Once we find out they're right on the bank or something, then we'll parallel. But right now we're just kind of making some 45s off the boat, getting as close to the bank as I can, and just working that crankbait. This time of year when you have riprap like this, concentrate on these. Any little bit of wood that you can find, just try to concentrate on that and see if there's anything hanging in it. A lot of times it will be. Aha! We got a limb. Some of that wood we're talking about concentrating on. Our temperature back here is about 86 degrees, so it's nice and balmy. We got some nice bath water. Got a little piece of wood there I wanted to make a cast on. It's just a little short 6.5 foot rod. It does real good for this kind of stuff. You can kind of make a cast like or something. Has a little extra give to it than a graphite rod might. What did I hang on? There it goes. This is a real good spring bank in here. It's all the way in the back of this creek. There's quite a bit more backwater in here, but I wanted to come up in here since this has year-round water in it. Usually had some good bait in this creek. So I want to give it a fair shake, see if there's some backwater bass action going on. There's some good laydowns. I'm gonna fish in a little while. If we can see them. I don't know that. If I can't see them good enough to fish them, I won't do it. But when the water's down, you can see them real good. About right here is where I started last time with my fish here. I think I caught 3. I caught 1 on this side and I caught 2 on the other. So it wasn't terrible. Weren't any size to them. Ooh. Slipped. Did some pretty good stuff on that cast. Got hung up on that cast. Give it a little pull, see if it'll come off. Then we just go get it. Fish crankbaits, you're gonna get upset. Oh, give me a. Well, there he is. I was just thinking I hadn't had any bites so far. Little guy. But, hey, got a bite. Chris. different or cast different on these points. Sometimes it takes a little cast to make one bite in some of these places. Ooh, that thing hung up right on the top. What in the world? Well, I have to go get that. This thing got hung up on something I didn't make, but maybe turned to the real handle there. It was hung up. And out off the rock. Oh yeah. What? Yes. Ooh, not much wind on this side. It's a little bit warmer. Get a backlash out here. Make a long cast, get that backlash out. Get hung up. There it goes. Not much wood down through this bank. We'll go down it one way with this. We'll come back with something a little bit different, and then we'll try the other side. Just kind of keep buzzing this crankbait down through here. Do a little shallow power fishing. Picking up little pieces of branch, but not much anything else. I don't think that's fish. Nope. More little, just, there we go. Little viney stuff. Might have been something better to do first thing in the morning, but I wanted to go out and try that river stuff because it was, there's one, feels like a decent fish. Not a monster, but we'll take it. Get this lake. Hey, here we go. This one anyway. Got a two. Alright. A little bit of progress. A little pound and a half or so. I'll take it. I'll get back in position. I kind of drifted off there, didn't I? But that's two on this banks, and that's pretty quick compared to what we were seeing this morning out in the river. So I'll take it. Banging this thing off that bank. All that rock that's down there. Sometimes I use a real fast retrieve. I would just call this a medium. But the key is always getting close to the bank and just trying to bounce that thing off of whatever you can. Just making sure it's diving deep enough to be hitting some cover. If you're not hitting cover, you're probably not going to be catching any fish. This is just kind of a, man. Just kind of a numbers game. The more casts you make, the more chances you have. Had three of those little duck boat things go by. I hope they go out in the river, because all they do is just drive around and thrash up the water. In the very back of this creek, I don't expect to see a whole lot of boats come back in here, but you never know. Maybe another one or two. Getting pretty warm, so I'm about to turn my fan on, my little fan on my GoPro.